They might end up having a gay version of Love Is Blind.
Yeah, you can't do it. You can't do it
Why can't you?
because they have to be
Gay
separated.
dude version?
So then there would just be half the dudes here and half the. What do you separate them by tops and bottoms? Separating them by bears and twinks? No, you can't do it. The show doesn't work. Hey, Sean.
Yes, Ray.
We're both big LIB guys. Love Is Blind.
I think I'm going to say, yeah.
Loose in butt guys. No, we are not big. We're tight in butt guys.
Tight in butt.
We are very tight in the butt. But I was going to ask you, there are 4 couples right now in Love Is Blind that are possibly going to be going to the altar. Tomorrow, the episode comes out Friday, as this is out Thursday. How many of those 4 do you think make it and say yes?
Okay. I'm wondering. So here's the thing: we're always wondering about storytelling in these shows. So the one black couple that has had 0 problems. There's that one couple. I forget their names.
Brett and Tiffany.
Brett and Tiffany. So good, you know all the info. I'm blanking on some of the names.
I would say that they are a definite yes.
Right, and there's a lot of yeses because even the one with the gay guy and they broke up later on. They got divorced. But I'm wondering if there's going to be what?
I like how we just outed him.
Oh, but I think everybody thought he was a gay guy.
Gay.
I don't know. Allegedly, not even allegedly.
Yeah.
But I think I'm guessing they're going to say yes, but I'm wondering if some weird because normally what happens is the sure thing couples they do theirs before the wedding episodes. They do theirs quick at the end of the one right before it because everybody knows they're going to get married whatever happens.
Oh, like it's obvious.
It's obvious. So here we did them. Love is love. Love is blind. We're good to go. You guys knew this. So I still think they'll get married if I had to bet. But part of me thinks that something at last minute is going to go wrong because they had one of her friends mention how like you guys haven't fought at all. Like, do you know how you're going to react when there is adversity?
When it comes up, yeah.
They might just be having a like month-long honeymoon period where everything like they're like maybe they're both part Irish and they just don't talk about shit.
I don't think either of them are. Maybe her. Maybe her a little bit.
Maybe.
I think they're just a definite yes. They try to do little things where they show you the preview at the end of the last one where he was like, there shouldn't have been any problems. There shouldn't have been any problems today. You know how they try to like overhype it?
Yeah. So that's just a sound bite where his button fell off or something crazy, and you're gonna be like, all right, it was nothing. It was, yeah.
Or like she's crying in a bed. It could have been happy crying.
Yes, right, exactly. So to answer your question, sorry, I didn't answer your question. I think they're probably a definite. I think Mike and Paul, I don't think it's happening.
I think that's a yes.
You think that's a yes?
Yes, I do.
What is your line of thinking with Mike and Paul?
They are that. I feel like there's one surprise couple every season that we've seen so far out of the 4 that is like a surprise yes, where they seem like weirdly like on the surface you're like these people seem so not right for each other, but they end up saying yes. Like that one like short man syndrome guy and the ballerina the last time.
Yeah.
They were the ones everybody's like, damn, I did not think they were going to say yes.
They said yes with so many caveats. I think they said yes because sometimes people, they're just, like, that doesn't mean they're bad people. I think people are just doing it. Part of the reason they're like, it's a show. I can get out of this. It's probably not even legally binding. I don't think they're legally getting married on the show.
Oh, really?
I don't know. Maybe they are. But I think it's, because the thing, now the narrative has changed where, hey, the first couple seasons I watched, I feel like they were more like, oh my God, what are you going to do? It's marriage. Now they're like, I have to decide what I'm going to do when I get up there. Meaning, like, it's perfectly okay for me to change my mind 15 times. They used to do the narrative of, I'm in this, I'm for the long haul, I'm learning to love you. Now it's like, I go back and forth 10 times a day. And that seems okay in the show.
I wasn't going to get to this quite yet.
Okay, sorry.
But we can go for it right now.
Sure.
My bones to pick with this season.
Okay, let's hear it.
This is me and you have always talked about one of the reasons that we really like this show is it seems like the most realistic reality show.
It's almost turns the reality capsule on its head a little bit. The stereotype of a reality show that kind of flips it a little bit.
Yes.
Yeah.
this is the first season where they've been introducing a little bit of the chaos.
Yes, and okay, yes.
I like it as a viewer of somebody that likes trash TV, but I also feel like it taints what Nick Lachey and Vanessa Lachey created. It tainted their baby.
How dare you take the purity of Love is Blind on Netflix, a conglomerate that was trying to make billions of dollars.
No.
How dare you desanctify Love is Blind.
But they kind of like, it's good without it.
It is good without it. And to be honest, here's the thing. This is your first point this is your first bone to pick. So let me respond real quick. I don't think they can avoid it. I don't think it is them doing that. I think it's almost like when people find out about a hot spot or something and the losers come to the hot club in the town and it's not cool anymore and it's not for real anymore. So it's like, so now you have these people who are like, I want to, like, it's been out for what was it? This is the 4th season. 3 years of it. They're like, I know how to game this enough where I'm going to tell these people what they want to hear. And then they show up, they get into it. It seems for real. They're filming and they're editing it down. They realize, oh my God, the only thing we have is reality show type plots with this. Because think about how many people they have in those pods, in those 2 houses. They're probably filming, I don't know, 15 stories at a clip, right? So they're realizing if you have enough of that population is there just for the reality show version and you don't get enough real quote unquote people, you're going to have to, that part of that's going to slip through the gates.
So, but here's what I'm saying is that's, I agree with your point that they're now attracting people that just want to be famous, people that just want to be on a reality TV show, people that just want attention and drama, which we can get to the main person that does that. But the thing with when they had that one party, that girl's birthday party on this season, and that random Josh guy who never made it out of the pod thing, but
shows up,
and he's like getting all drunk. And he's wreaking havoc.
But they've done that before.
Why would they let him there?
They did that before.
Did they?
With the eye drop Asian guy. He came to a party.
You're right.
You just don't. You're thinking they're so much more reality showish. You're thinking, oh, they're doing this now because they're going into the ranks of just another reality show. Because their other show, what's it called?
Perfect Match.
I don't watch it. Is it? It's not as good,
it's
right?
Not nearly
right, because it's very along those lines.
Yeah.
And now they're all in like that Love is Blind universe. So they're doing like it's just going to be like its own like road rules, real world challenge crew that like, hey, because I saw some video online where there was a Love is Blind bus, and there's like people from past seasons. So it's going to be like Marvel, but for a reality show. It's going to be its own.
That's going to ruin it for me.
Yeah, it will. It will. For me too. It already kind of has. Because what you are also referring to is Micah and Irina, who took like the mean girl mantle. And what I'm guessing is, yeah, it was a reality show thing to film. Who knows? Maybe the staff switched up and they have different editors and different story editors.
I think so.
Because you have Micah and Irina, and either you didn't have enough good love stories, so now they're letting these like this mean girl thing creep in, and that's what people are attaching themselves to, and they're not wrong. You could tell that girl Irina is a shitty person,
dude, and not to mention, not attractive.
Not at all. And no, not at all. And it's also like. She talked. This is not, talking. She talked about her acne in the and she obviously has a lot of cover up on. So you would think somebody who probably I see it's out of insecurity, but it's like there's a thing called the internet, right? Like people are gonna call you on your thing immediately.
They are already.
They're destroying her. They said she looks like the stepsister from Cinderella, the dark haired one and she looks dead on like that.
Well, the thing that kind of bothered me with her, which the guy that she was with, who's probably a serial killer, that Zach guy who really doesn't blink. She wasn't wrong about that.
The more you get to know about him, he's an odd dude, but he really is a guy who came. It seems like they allude to his past a lot, and I think his mom might have been like a crackhead, and like I think there might have been some mental health things there. So he probably has part. He mentions how his mom was a stripper. That's why he didn't want to deal with the burlesque. In the burlesque show,
which is fair.
It's totally fair. It's 100% fair. I get it. I wouldn't be into. If my mom was a stripper, I wouldn't be into strippers either. But it's one of these things where I don't think you can't really tell. Like you try to make. It's so funny. It's like it's the job of the viewers to make all these snap judgments on these people on the show. And what you're saying is like, oh man, you guys are just all falling into the tropes of like Zach is a guy who like wouldn't have been on a normal reality show because he wouldn't have been hot enough. Or I was telling you before we even started, I'm like, when I first saw him, I was like, oh yeah, he looks like he's probably a good-looking guy.
I thought he was a good-looking guy.
Same here,
He's not.
And he's not apparently. And he is weird, and he doesn't blink, but he doesn't seem like that. Irina, she was like playing the game of the reality show, obviously. But I think their process, I think we're giving them a lot of credit. I think that we think the Love is Blind process, they're like, no, we're actually trying to find real people for the show. And I think that for a lot of seasons it was that. But it might be kind of fallen by the wayside.
Now they're just trying to get some drama.
Maybe some drama, or like they're realizing, oh my God, we filmed 100 hours of footage and we have like 3 love stories and we have this and this is more compelling. And they're in the room and they're like, go with the Irina, Micah team up.
Making fun of these girls crying.
Yeah, like hard.
So mean.
Like also like either you're playing the character to get yourself to be like the heel, like almost like the wrestling heel,
Yeah.
where you're like, and you know this is gonna get out, like while you're there, you know what this is, you've seen the process, so and you've seen how people are on past shows, so why wouldn't you think that you're gonna be the standout on it? Because they mostly pick people who seem okay, except for like Bartiz, who turned out to be kind of
He's
a clown.
weirdo.
You know, yeah, exactly.
Well, here's the thing though. We'll stay on that specific couple for a second, because that's actually what I have the most thoughts on is the Zach and Irina thing.
Okay.
And then the Bliss thing, which is another problem.
Right.
Is she does like has something wrong with her in the sense of having no regard for other people's feelings. In like she even did it to her own like homegirl, like that girl that she was talking shit on people with in the pods when she got confronted about it. Like they had that sit down.
Yeah.
She was like, "You were coming on to my dude at the place."
Yeah.
And then she's like, "Yeah, I can see that."
Yeah.
It's like, hey, where's the fucking sorry, dude? Where's the I messed up? Or then when she's like, before that, when she's breaking up with the dude in Mexico, she goes, "Yeah, I was like, I gave you every opportunity to just be done with me. I was being very mean to you." And it's like, yeah, that's not the way to do it. And
so the way that here's the thing. We're all adults here. What you can chalk that up to is insecurity and anxiety and insecurity about your own looks and whatever's going on and whatever's happened in your past, because whatever you had. But it's a good measure because nobody gives a fuck.
Yeah.
Like they want you to act like a good person because here's the thing, because nobody's perfect, obviously.
Yeah.
None of these people are perfect. But even trying to act like a good person, which I think most of them are trying, they're still gonna have things that people just attack. Little words. You ever see TikToks about this show? People are like, ooh, they said the word "the" strange in this one little scene, so that means they're a piece of shit. Like they're gonna attack you anyway. So if you're cool with being like the main villain, like you're just gonna be the villain. So I think that she must have been like, I'm going into this just to be on TV, and she wanted.
And she'll get on another show.
Yes.
They'll give her another show.
Because yeah, exactly.
And I like see this. If you are in that situation, Sean, and you're that Zach guy, and she's kind of tells you like when you're having the breakup, the actual breaking it off, and she's like, "Wow, yeah, I was like, I'm surprised you didn't do this sooner. I was being like really mean to you and like giving you that." Wouldn't you be like, he didn't at one point go, "Hey, that's an awful thing to do to somebody"?
No, he didn't. I don't know why.
Me either.
And you wonder, I think it's because it's like, I think you have to take into account they are being filmed, and then he's thinking of his own character, how he's being looked at. So he's going, if I say like, because he would have had the right to be like, fuck you.
Yeah.
What the fuck? Why are you being so mean? What's your problem? Because that's why these reality shows become so scripted and so this. Because when they do try to make it real, people know they're being watched. Even the interaction between Micah and Paul, the loving interactions is like, oh, you guys know you're being filmed. You're not used to it. You're not in the public eye. Like, you've never done this before. So rightfully so, even your like, and then your loving doviness comes off weird as shit.
Really awkward.
So the kid Zach, I think he's also a guy he's an odd guy. So he's not doing that right away. I think he was trying. There might have been a bunch of things in his head. I don't want to go away from the show. It might be part of it. I don't want to be rude. I'm trying to be a good guy here. Or I'm being filmed, so I can't just be like, fuck you, because I'm going to be called Messiah, whatever the fuck.
I think that would have made him...
It made him
put him in a lot of people's favor.
Yeah, exactly. And he's just kind of a weirdish type dude that, they call him out for it later on. He's like, hey, he's an odd guy, says odd things. And
Bone to pick number 2.
Okay.
Him and Bliss shouldn't be on The Experience.
You think rule-wise? You're saying
Rule-wise.
rule-wise? So
He
you
did
made
not-
your,
he did-
your choice. You messed up.
He did not propose to her sight unseen. They shouldn't get the wedding. They shouldn't get the bachelor parties. They shouldn't get to be filmed anymore.
This kind of goes to my point. If you had to make a guess, they made. You can chalk it up to the producers or the casting people.
Nick
Lachey. Nick Lachey.
I don't know why he would let that happen.
They didn't have enough. That might be it. They didn't have enough. I think in the past he might have been right because let's be honest, like the guy Zach's an odd guy. He's not really that compelling. He's strange. The staring thing, all that. Bliss, kind of boring. I think they had a real load of boring people, and they're like, "Shit, we have nothing, so we're gonna let them do this thing." Even when they had the two meet up, because here's the thing: when they with the other two, Jackie and the dude Josh met up, and he was like, "You should be with me," blah blah blah, whatever it is. I don't think that would have happened. I think in past seasons that wouldn't have happened
That's
either.
what I'm saying.
So I
They're
think
introducing the chaos.
They didn't
bit.
have enough footage, and like we need to have a show. You can't just have it where everything's kind of working out, or these two white people are just really boring, like Mike and Paul. It's like you kind of crackers, and you're kind of boring.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like they're just fucking
boring ass cracker.
Boring ass crackers, and so I think you needed some personality, and you needed Jackie's story. She's crazy, and it probably comes from some place.
She's wild,
and I'm sure it's from who the hell knows what the deal is, but it's coming. It's way more compelling to people to watch that in the moment than not like her not going to the fitting. That's like that's the perfect thing about it from like the show standpoint. It's like, holy shit! If we stick with this story, we have a moment of her. She just completely ghosted this dude.
Yeah,
he's there to get fitted. And she didn't even go, and they made it look like they met up at the same time with Josh. She met up with Josh.
Yeah, it definitely wasn't the same time.
Right, exactly. So it might be a staff issue where it's like new staff people, and they don't know what people like the show for. Because I do think people like the show for exactly what you and me talk about.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they might screw themselves and not as many people watch next season. Because I still enjoyed watching this, but it's because it had the sheen, the Love is Blind sheen, where I'm like, I trust this brand, and then you went right down the
it feels
the
different.
Bachelor or whatever bullshit thing there is.
Do you agree this season feels different?
100% feels different, but it also might be because the floodgates are open, and now you have people who are like, I'm going to get famous from Love is Blind because it's such a popular show.
Natalie had a great take on Zach. My girlfriend Natalie had a great take on Zach, and she said the reason that he seems to want to get married so bad is he is such a weirdo that the only way anybody will marry him is if they only knew him for 20 days.
That's actually a really cool idea for a movie as well. A guy who's just trying to get himself hitched. 1 month to wed. Dude,
that'd be good. I could see Kate Hudson in that.
So you're saying that, meaning
she thinks
he's a bad guy?
She thinks he's a weird dude, like a weirdo.
He is, and it's not even fun weird. I think he's just like when he's also. Here, want to hear a little tidbit? I saw this on TikTok. Remember that song that he sings in the pod to the girl to Irina, and it's really bad. And he's like, "You and me."
Yeah.
It's a song. It's off YouTube. Some random unless somebody did it after the fact. Somebody's like, he ripped off that. He said he wrote that song for.
What?
He ripped it off. Unless it's made up. The video is wrong, and somebody sung that song after with music and stuff like that, and popped it on YouTube. But I saw a TikTok video, that awful song that made no sense that he just sung to her in a really bad key.
Oh, he's a terrible singer.
He's awful. So you wonder, like, the other thing is, like, I'm wondering what the prompts are for them, because I think when you grab a bunch of boring motherfuckers and then they're like, okay, well, the one guy who wrote the song, Kwame, this guy is trying to be famous. Somebody caught him on another show. He was on Married at First Sight in the background, and I think he never
really.
Yes. This guy's been trying to get on TV.
Well, we'll get to him in a second.
Right. Okay, so we'll get to him in a second.
Because I got.
But if you notice, he's like, I do this, I write songs, I play music. He's trying to get, because there's the thing.
Former professional soccer player. He's just trying to stay in the public eye as much as he possibly can.
Exactly. And that song he sings her, actually wasn't that bad if he just popped off his brain on it.
Yeah.
And so I think he's like thinking of all the angles.
Wow.
So
that
we'll get
merited
to
first sight thing. That.
Multiple people have spotted him in the back, unless it was a guy who just looked exactly like him. But the guy looks just like him.
So then, you think Paul and Micah are a no?
Paul and Micah, I don't.
Or wait, you know what? Let's go through and then we'll run down our predictions.
Okay.
And then we'll see who gets more points.
Okay, great.
I don't know how that would work, but
hold on, I'm gonna.
Are you writing it down?
Yes.
We record all of this, Sean.
That's true, but yes.
We record the. Wait, can I ask you a question? Did you just think that for the last year and 2 months, we've just been coming here and sitting down with microphones and just not recording?
I thought it was just a conversation between friends.
Oh.
I didn't realize.
And you feel like the only way you could really open up is if you have a mic in front of you.
Wait, yes. Is this? I thought I thought it was like a theme party thing. We're both stand-ups, so you're giving me a mic, like we're talking.
Well, if it's a theme party, we're losers because there's no other friends here with us. And
Well,
if we ever do have a friend, it's only one other person.
Who's that?
Our guest.
Our
whenever
guest.
we have
Oh
a
yeah,
guest.
our first guest every week.
Our first guest.
Yeah,
have
I
first
thought it
guest.
was just us talking, so I was going to jot it down.
Yeah,
All right.
no.
We'll do our
I
picks.
can go back to the tape, but I don't have much more to say about that Zach guy except I know the serial killer thing or like saying like he's crazy is like a very hot internet take right now. It's what everybody's saying about him.
Yeah.
But he does have that like scary type of anger, that like laughing while he's talking, like he did that. Ha ha ha! Yeah, it does seem like you got a crush on Paul. Like that, like crazy laugh, and then the defensiveness with her father. When her father was the first parent, that girl
Was he
Bliss,
defensive with the father?
a little bit. That girl Bliss was the first parent that I've ever seen on the show that kind of had like maybe the take I would have, or I think the most real take. Where
The dad?
The dad, where he was just kind of like, yeah, I mean, I guess I don't. It's weird.
Well, you could tell they don't have a good situation.
Yeah.
So I think that's why he was like, he kind of was treating her like a coworker. he was like, hey, you're an adult. You can do it. And she's like, yeah, I am an adult. Like, it was actually a pretty real conversation.
That's why I said
Yeah,
that. Like he
yeah.
was the first, like the one parent that comes and he's like, I think that's great. And
the,
it's like,
the Kwame.
Yeah.
And yes.
what the fuck are you talking about?
And
You
then
think that-
and then they have because they're on camera, and then at their wedding, Kwame and what's her name, Chelsea, when he's waiting, he's almost saying like Hallmark card things to her. He's like, "You've been a great daughter." I'm like, "Is she dying?"
that is 100% an actor.
Yeah.
He's
yeah,
not a
the
real.
dad's not a real
the dad's
guy.
not a real
That's
guy.
what I mean. Like, I think he was saying what he thinks he should say.
Yeah.
But the other dad, you're right. What's her name? Her dad. What's her name? Fucking
Chelsea or no, Bliss.
Bliss. Sorry. Bliss's dad was. He's like just being completely honest.
Well, because
Probably because they're kind of estranged, and he's like, I don't give a fuck.
well, that Zach dude gave with all due respect, you don't really know me, and that's when he got like a little bit snippy, and then the dad had the best comeback of like, that's what I'm saying. She doesn't really know you. It's 20 days.
Yeah.
I don't really. It's like, and anytime sidebar, anytime you start a sentence with all due respect.
There's no respect.
There's never any respect coming after that.
Can we get rid of Can we? What am I? 4 years old?
What are you? What are you, Elmer Fudd?
What am I? Me doing your kid character? Can we get rid of?
That's not a kid.
What
That
is
guy's in
it?
his 30s.
Oh, that's like just a slow guy.
Yeah.
Oh.
I don't watch Love Is Blind because my dad said I shouldn't be watching people kiss.
But can we get rid of, with all due respect, because you're trying to be shitty when you say whatever you say after that.
It's fancier, no offense.
Yeah, no offense, but with all due respect, because you know what that's going to mean. What you're really saying is, don't punch me, but
Yeah.
let's not go back to our caveman instincts here.
Yeah.
But I don't think that outfit looks nice on you.
Nobody's ever like, with all due respect, I think you're one of the nicest guys I've ever met in my life. With all due respect, I think you're a kind person. It's always like, with all due respect, I don't think you know me.
Yeah, with all due respect, you're not a real human being. Like it's something
Yeah.
really cutting where you're like,
It's always mean.
with all due respect, your mother probably hated you. like real hardcore shit. You're like, what the fuck? But yeah, so
I think we're eliminating it.
that guy gave. we should eliminate it.
Yeah.
That guy gave a real reaction. I think, yeah, if he's going with all due respect, it kind of proves it. Like, they're trying to be, like, cordial.
Yeah.
So that's why that show's so great. It's those real moments like that make it so good, because I do believe it's real people that have just cameras pointed in front of them, and they're not media trained to be like, here's a statement about my daughter getting married to this fucking creep. You know what I mean? Like, I think it really is a real, those interactions are real, and that's why that's one of the best scenes, because you're like, that could happen, and this guy's being for real, and this one's kind of a little bit, doesn't know what to do, so he's being polite, and that's what the cool part is. But then when you see the Irina-Micah team-up thing, you're like, I've seen this.
Yes.
I've seen this before. I don't watch shows. I actually don't watch. I've never watched The Bachelor. I don't watch the other one.
Perfect Match.
Perfect Match.
Too Hot to Handle.
I used to watch. What was the reality? I don't know. I never watched any of the relationship. I watched the other one, the one on TLC about the marriages, 90 Day Fiance.
Yes.
Same kind of deal. They're just pointing a camera at these awkward fucking people, and I always wondered about the motives of that show. And it's a fun show to watch. That's the only other relationship show, quote unquote, reality.
Do you know what I
watch.
like about 90 Day Fiance?
What?
90 Day Fiance. You could tell it's been a little while since we've recorded.
Yes,
Because
yes.
I'm mumbling over my fucking words. It's been a while since I watched I've never really watched 90 Day Fiance, but when I have, what I like about it, the people, very unattractive usually.
Yes.
All very like weird, normal looking Midwestern people.
Yep.
And it's like real. Like
Yep.
everybody on like, if you're on Love is Blind and you're in the pods, there is some comfort in knowing that, hey, I've seen this show. Nobody's completely unfuckable.
Absolutely. Exactly.
You're going in like, and here's another bone I have to pick. Bone number 3. This is 3 bones. We're making a whole rack
skeleton.
of ribs here, baby.
No skeleton.
Yeah. My other bone to pick, and I think I've mentioned this when we've discussed Love is Blind on the show before, is they do bring in some thicker, full-figured gals on the show, which
But not guys.
never bring a chubby dude. What is it?
What's the deal with that?
What the fuck?
What-
We could be body positive for women, but why ain't there a dude with a fucking nice pair of jugs?
Full-figure women, they've had, what, 2, 3 maybe? Maybe 3.
3.
And it's one of these things where it's like, do you think they maybe they have had them and they just never made it to like the final groups of that we watch?
Because they could hear
The breathing.
I would probably say that I'm a Gemini. I'm a Gemini.
I like to work out.
I mean, I haven't found true love before. They hear the floorboards creaking when they're pacing back and forth.
Have you had the new sandwich at Arby's? It's really good. I can't get him in the pots.
He's like, oops. She's like, what? I think I broke the couch in here.
He's just farting on the couch. Did you just fart? I brought my CPAP machine to the... I don't know why that's my fat guy. Your fat guy voice. You're doing a better... Just talk regular. We're both chubby guys.
You're just doing Louis Armstrong. You're like, hey, man. You're doing Fat Albert.
We're trying to do Fozzie Bear. Like, do you know how much my CPAP machine was? He's like, oh, you got a CPAP machine. So you have sleep apnea. Whoa. It's genetic.
Oh.
Holy shit.
Oh, man.
That's funny as shit. That's why you realize somebody's fat from the pods. They go, they have a special pod for me. They made the pod bigger for me. Hey, we have to push our pod meeting because they have to get me a bigger couch. But there shouldn't be a reflection on me physically at all.
You just see the shadow on that little window. And I'm just like, oh, my God.
So she's like, well, I'm okay with a full-figured guy. I'm a big guy.
Yeah.
How big are you? Have you seen The Whale with Brendan? Are you a movie fan?
But that's a fucking double standard.
My guess, I still have my trust in the brand. those dudes just didn't make it to an interesting point. Because I don't see them putting. I would.
But I never saw any of them in the like. You know, when
I don't see them not seeing that criticism coming. You know what I mean?
Well, when you're looking at like when Nick and Vanessa come in and they're talking to all of the dudes together, you know how you kind of see like the full view of like all the.
You're right. There's never
even
heavy
the filler
guys.
characters.
Yeah.
There's never like just like a big dude, and I think that you know what maybe they're trying to do.
What?
I think they are trying to overcompensate and reverse the trend from what we have known from sitcoms for 50 years. Where in sitcoms, it's always the thing was always fat funny guy, smoking hot wife.
Oh, so they're trying to get going the other way.
Maybe they're going the other way.
I don't know if they're thinking that. I think what they're thinking is I think they're TV producers and they're thinking in the terms of hot people always, but they knew they had to have a token fat. A token fat. You used to have a token black guy on the thing, whatever they used to call it back in the day, which was horrible. You want to have just, a good cast no matter what, whatever it is. But now you have token fats, where it's like, and they know that the body positivity thing only goes the one way. Nobody really there's no group of fat dudes going, hey, we need representation.
Do you know why? Because dudes aren't nice to each other about it.
Exactly. And you just take it, and and usually it's like usually the personality comes out and you're the funny one, whatever it is. Same thing happens with women, where it's like they're bigger women a lot of the times have better personalities because it's forced to come out because you're not being looked at in in a certain way.
Since I was a kid, I would be when I got I was a chubby kid at points, I would go to my grandfather's house and he would immediately just be like, "Wow, you're getting big."
Oh yeah.
And I'd be like, "Yeah, I'm getting pretty tall." He's like, "Not what I'm talking about." You know, like he would call me.
No,
he would comment on my weight.
That's that generation too. They don't give a shit. They
But the men kind of kept that, and women were kind of way more progressive than us in that. In that manner.
But I will say my great grandmother would do that to my sister.
Yeah.
No. But she would say it to. Yeah, she would say and she was a woman who, when she was older, she was skinny, but her whole life she was chubby, and they just say you're getting fat, you're getting this, whatever it is. So, I think it's the matter of those producers that we love so much going, okay, how many fats do we need on the, they're doing like a basket, and they're going, how many? It's almost like you're going to Dunkin' Donuts, and you're like, how many planes do we need? So you know what I mean? Where it's like, we have to do this because we know we're going to get criticized on the woman front if we don't.
But all the dudes have great bodies.
They do.
Because we see them in Mexico. And they're rocking.
Right, and yeah, exactly. And maybe
granted, all the girls that they show a lot are hot.
If I say
not hot, but
if you were 27, right, and even your age now, you could try out for the show, right? If you were single. Would you do it? That's one of the. I wouldn't do it because one of the reasons. I wouldn't do it anyway.
Because you don't want to take your shirt off in Mexico.
I wouldn't want to take my shirt off in Mexico. You wouldn't have to. You probably just a giant Hanes undershirt, triple X. But
you make up an excuse. You're like, I can't go in the pool today because I'm
allergic to water.
GERD. My GERD won't let me go in the pool. Why can't you go swim? I have fucking acid reflux flaring up, so I'm not gonna be able to swim in the pool.
But I do think that that's why those are the types of guys that goes for those shows, is because they're like, I don't mind being shirtless, whatever. Well, you do. You need the Bert Kreischer of those shows.
Yes.
The super confident fat guy who's like, I don't give a shit. And I think there would be on a thing like Love Is Blind, if it stayed true to the DNA that we're used to, the women would be like, I don't care. He's got a big belly. He's got a big. They're not gonna have a 500-pound dude on there. Yeah. But they will have. Like a dad bod guy who's just like, I don't give a shit.
They don't even have a dad bod guy.
No, and they should. But there's never going to be any clamoring for it. So the producers are like, why don't we just give the women watching eye candy to look at, and to even more so, if it means 3 more TikToks about how hot this dude's bod is at Mexico, that's worth it for the promotion.
Well,
of the
clamoring has begun.
You're patient zero. You're the start.
I am the clamoring. I am Love Is Blind's reckoning.
I am the clamoring.
I am Love Is Blind's reckoning.
Yes. Yeah.
Love Is Blind season 5. If you do not have overweight to obese male contestant, I will not watch. I will get rid of my Netflix, or I will have my mom cancel her Netflix that I use the password for. Wait, I have my own avatar though. I have my own avatar. I go under Ray. It says Jamie, then Ray. I have my own avatar, Sean.
Wouldn't it be great if you went on it and you had to, that came up and you're like, I'm going to ask my mom to upgrade her Netflix account
I want to be able to watch it in 4K.
I want to watch our season of Mama wants Netflix. She has to pay her bill for the Netflix.
So my bones to pick with Love is Blind were, 1, I think they're jumping the shark a little bit. 2, they don't have any big dudes on there. 3, what was my 3? Oh, I don't think that they should let Bliss and Zach continue. And then my 4th and my final big gripe has to do with your boy Kwame, who's just trying to be famous.
Yeah. Which is also should be an insight, which we're going to get to, on what he's going to say. He's not saying yes. But anyway, go ahead.
I don't like that he doesn't live in Seattle.
Well, there's multiple. Apparently, one of the other ones
is in Arizona,
and he's not in Arizona. He's in Portland. The other Mike is in Arizona.
Yeah, and Kwame's in Portland.
Right, Kwame's in Portland.
Why would
and the other dude with what's her name, the one that are doing well, what's his? I forget his
Brett
name.
And Tiffany.
Brett.
You don't remember their names because they're so boring.
Boring. They're very boring. But he seems like a cool guy. When they meet his family was fat.
Yeah,
his family was awesome. His dad was awesome. His dad was so much fun.
He was cool.
Hear. Yeah,
Put him on Love is Blind. They should do a senior Love is Blind.
Senior citizen.
Get some old people on there.
We actually have some blind people. They'll be blind forever.
I got cataracts.
Yeah, Love is Blind just because they're 94 years old. Like,
yeah.
Love has fibromyalgia. Love has Alzheimer's. Love. It's not Love is Blind. They keep re-meeting each other. Does love, that's the new saying, does love have Alzheimer's? If you had to meet your partner once a month the first time, would you still love them?
Send us an email and you could be the next contestant.
If you remember, send us an email.
See, that's what's so fucked up about reality now is they do not care.
No.
About that's
been like that for a while.
Yeah.
That's almost and that's why shows like this started coming out, because they were like, hey, this has become such a stereotype, so fucking lame with the same things over and over again. We're going to show you the eye drop guy. We're going to show you that these people are kind of normal and they're turned off by the Indian dude that everybody fucking hated because he was so shallow. We're going to show you, like, we're going to have normal-ish. We're going to have the most normal-ish type people we can have.
And that's why I like the show.
Same here.
So getting to our last, because I don't even know if we should talk about Marshall and
well,
Jack,
not why, because
Jackie.
You think if they're done doesn't matter.
Well, they're done, but
I will say this though, they made her the villain, which she is. She's an asshole. But I'll be honest, I don't trust that act either. I feel like a gossip lady. I'm like,
let's go,
honey.
I think
Do you know what I mean?
think you might coming into our conversation about this, because we're both fans. We talk about it a little bit through text, but we tried not to talk about it as much
so we can talk about
do
the
it
show,
here.
Yeah.
You saying that right now, it immediately sent the light off in my head. He is what my friend Sean Donnelly would call phony baloney.
Phony baloney. I think it's phony. I think it's a bullshit thing. I'm sure he's not but when he said, it's weird that he goes, I want to make you this better. I'm gonna make you better to her. And all that.
The project line is something you cannot come back from.
You can't unsay it.
And you can't come back from it.
And in my mind, you can't. So if you're so loving and you're so understanding, why would you want a project? Why wouldn't you just take them for as they are? And because there are women that do that. They're like, the guy's the project. I'm going to make him better. I always thought I used to have a friend of mine who was like, I see that the people I date as an opportunity to make them better. I'm like, that's wrong.
You're a psychopath.
You're a psychopath. But I think that's very unspoken about. But he's coming off as this like really, really. First off, I know this is the go-to, and it's another trope. He might be a gay dude. He just might be straight up.
Oh,
gay.
really?
He might be, because it's one of these things where she wasn't wrong. Like, I never. Either he's a bullshit artist, which probably is the case, because the way he talks about it, where he's like, and he's so empathetic and
he's
so
too good to be true.
Too good to be true, but it's so fucking corny that you're sitting there going like, well, this isn't normal. This isn't real either. Like, something's up.
Yeah.
You're bullshitting for the show, and your character is, I'm the good guy trying to make you better. and then all you do is you treat me bad, which I do think she did. I think that they both agree when they shouldn't have, and or he's closeted and he's like.
I don't think he's closeted. At one point, I said, which of these dudes would I hang out with? Which of these dudes would I be most likely to be friends with? I thought it was him. But now that I'm thinking about it, man, you were really changing my mind in the moment. You saying that he's phony
Something's
baloney.
up with that guy, man. I'm not saying he's a bad guy. I looked at his TikTok. He seems pretty normal. He seems like he's kind of like in the moment of what's happening to him, and like I think he's dating somebody new. It looks like some nurse or something like that. Whatever it is. Or somebody's the head of nursing at something. I saw it yesterday. I was like on a deep dive on TikTok. But I will say that I don't buy into the character that he played. I think he was doing the reality show thing too. It's just harder to sniff out, and I find it phony baloney.
Christopher Maloney, and it's a thing where, and I think you nailed this. Is I think some people go on that show, and I don't know if they're necessarily trying to get famous or trying to be a character, but I think they are so cognizant and trying so hard, and we do this in everyday life, to put forth
the best version,
what they think is the best version of themselves, or what they think is the coolest version of themselves. Because that's what Irina, that bitch, thinks is cool, is being the mean girl, being like the hot girl that doesn't want to be with this guy, like being like, ooh, don't touch me, I'm not that attracted to you, and being the drama starter, because she mentions that she had really bad acne and like went through that and was like made fun of. So I think now, because she probably wasn't like that in school and was made fun of and bullied, now she wants to be the mean girl in her mid to late 20s.
But I don't accept that because you're an adult and act like an adult.
100%.
And then on top of it, a really quick little exercise, it'll be fun. Like, what would it have taken for her to come out and been attracted to the guy? Because obviously, this guy's a weird guy, but at the first, I think she was off-put by his personality as well in person. And I also think he was her only opportunity to get somebody to, right? Or somebody else. I don't know if she had anybody else that was willing to.
I doubt it.
To ask her, will you marry me? But I do think it would have been like, I don't think there would have been anybody in her mind that would have been like good enough. It always would have been like something would have been up. She wanted to be on the show, not actually
really
get in a
weird that
relationship.
she has the confidence that she has.
It's all out of insecurity. And just like with Micah, where at first they were kind of the gruesome twosome a little bit. Yeah. And they did they were being the mean girls. And then Micah tried to backtrack, and I've seen things online where she's like, it came out and I feel bad I did it, but
that's nice.
But it's also a thing where I think she's fine, but I think also I don't buy that completely either. Her dude, you can say that dude's a knockout. I think he's way out of her league. That guy,
Paul,
the scientist guy who like
not into him.
Like, looks wise, that guy's a good looking dude, man. Mm-hmm. Good looking kid, handsome guy. But the thing about it is that's how secure we are. We can have a conversation like this on Brand New Jerks podcast.
He's also, I think, not the backtrack and go back to them, but he's also phony baloney Christopher Maloney as well.
I think they're trying to hide that they're going to say no. Like, it's one of these things. I don't think he's going to say yes, and she's not going to say yes. I think they're like, fuck, we'll ride this out. Well, so I have to like politely say, oh, I do. I love her, and I really have to blah, 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 blah. And you have to talk like that on the show because you can't be like, dude, when this thing comes to it, I'm saying no. I can't.
That's what I wanted to ask you about. He meets her friends.
That's a crazy scene.
And the Shelby chick was being just kind of rude to him out of nowhere. And I like that he stood up for himself and was like, yeah, I don't care. And it's like, what? And like, he kind of like backtracked a little bit and was like, no, what your friends think about me is important, but like, don't be rude to me off jump.
In my face. Yeah.
Like, give me a chance.
Well,
and that girl never gave her a chance.
No, and that girl also, I think, realized, hey, I can have a moment. I'll be on the show if I do this. I think because that's the type of girls that Irina. That's why they were so into each other in the pods and in the houses, because they both obviously had the same thing. So it's a type of person. That she's what? She's 20. She's not 30s. I don't think. They're all late 20s.
They're like 26, 27.
Right. So, I'm sure her friend was like, if I don't like him right away, I guarantee it that. Because the other thing is going to be like, I'm gonna be the character who's like, he's a nice enough guy. Because you see, at first she's loaded. It goes off her ass.
Oh, they're
all
both
off their
sloppy.
asses.
Yeah.
And then she's like, it's not right for you. You deserve the best. And she's crying, whatever it is. And then when they're sober, she's like, he seems like a nice guy, but I just know it's not right. So that narrative will keep going with her. And then when Micah does say no, which I do think is going to happen, which is one of my picks, I think that she's going to go, I feel bad, but I knew that was going to happen. Unless they're throwing her that, and then that becomes the big surprise when it's like the yes.
Okay. Well, let's go. Let's do Kwame real quick. I think that one of my bones to pick, though, just to keep going with it, to finish out that thought, is why it's already enough obstacles with this experiment, with this game. Why would you add potential long distance to it? Why would, one, you even go on the show if you knew, like, hey, I live in Portland and I don't want to leave Portland, but most of these people are going to be from Seattle? And two, the producers and my boy Nick, why would they be like, yeah, let's have this guy that's from Portland be on the show?
Because they're thinking, you realize Portland and Seattle are like sister and brother. Like, it's like they're thinking this.
Yeah, but
somebody meets somebody. Like, say this, because we do know, I do think that a lot of the feelings on the show are real. Even with this new season, we're like, it's a little bit tainted. I do still believe that the base core thing is there. So if you're, first off, in a normal person's case, and you really are looking and you're like, hey, you never know, it's stranger things have happened. You're thinking, if it's good enough, I will move to Seattle.
Yeah.
It's right there. It's so close. Hold on, though. I think Kwame is, because I said he was on the other show. I want to be on the show. Doesn't matter. So when I'm on the show now, here's another way for me to be like, this is me expressing doubt. Because I think if say he was head over heels in love with the person that he was picked, and he's the type of guy who's like, I will take the plunge, and he was really that into her, he'd be like, I'll move. It's fine. Or he would have probably been at first been like, I have reservations about moving to Seattle, but then be like, screw it, I'll move. So I could meet somebody if I was living in Connecticut. I was living here, and somebody from Connecticut was like, you have to move to Connecticut, and I was head over heels in love with him. Like, I'll move to Connecticut. I'll just do it. It'll just happen. But he's not doing that because he's not into it, because he wants to be famous, and that's why he joined the show. Because I'm sure when they were like, okay, you live in Portland, would you move for them? He was like, yeah, no problem, because it's just a questionnaire, and he can lie. And then he got on the show. And as we know, he's a reality show. He's fucking a lot of these shows. So
he's a sneak.
He's a little reality show slut. So basically, the fact of the matter is, this guy was thinking, I'll be on the show, or even if I meet somebody good enough that I'm that into, I'll just move to Seattle.
It's a win-win.
Or he probably thought, like, it's probably not going to happen anyway. It's probably like they go through a lot of people. He probably was like, I got picked. This is my goal anyway.
Yeah.
So he's just like the girls were, he's the same deal. He's I want to be on the reality show.
He's just a little more subtle.
He's way more subtle, and he actually has a good personality.
Yeah.
So you're like, oh, he's a good guy. He means this. I think.
And he does keep, he has been doing things on purpose to try to sabotage himself or give himself excuses. So there's the Portland thing. He's like, I don't want to move. And then there's the mom thing. My mom doesn't want me to do this.
Mm-hmm.
Which
I don't think is fake. I think it's real.
Either way, though.
Which is a biggie. That is a biggie.
Yeah, but if you really are serious and love somebody,
you'll just do it. But they all, the thing that Bliss's father was saying, they all have that in the back of their heads the whole time. So, yeah, if I knew a girl a month and my mom felt that strongly about it would give me pause and be like, I can just say no on the show and then we can continue dating. Like, you have that option too.
You do.
You can talk to them and be like, I'm gonna say no, but I want to. When the cameras aren't around, when you're in bed together, hey, listen, I'm gonna say no because of my mom, but let's work on this and blah 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 blah. You can do whatever you want. You know?
That's fair.
Yeah. So I think he's a guy I just want to be on the show, and I think he's charismatic enough that we're like, oh yeah, I hope this works out with them, but. They also were like second choice they were both turned down for something. They were like that's what I'm saying. They did not have enough good stories on this year.
They were the leftovers.
They were the leftovers. So it's like one of these things where it's like there wasn't a good enough crop. So that's why all these weird little loose ends are happening and weird situations, because you don't have the solid ones where like, we're doing this. We're in it 100%. Now you have people who are like, I don't know. I saw how it went. People broke up. Like, it's just going to get more and more diluted as it goes, which is a bummer because
it was a good show.
Really good show.
And it had a good run.
It had a good run, exactly. But one thing I noticed, and as far as who I would hang out with, I actually think I'd want to hang out with Brett. That guy actually, they're boring, but that guy seems like the best dude on the show.
Best dude on the show, but he seems too serious. I wouldn't have fun with him.
I don't know if he's that serious. I think he's probably he's like a little bit thoughtful. They allude to something with his family. And if you notice, both his dad and his brother, big dudes, and she mentions something about him going through something. Somebody went through that with their family, and when they meet up with the family, did you notice they ask, what's her name again? Crystal? No.
Tiffany.
Tiffany. I keep forgetting. They asked Tiffany.
My sister's name.
Oh, there you go. They keep asking her. They not keep asking. They asked her. So, were you upper middle class? Middle class? What? They asked her what her class was.
Yeah.
And I think they were alluding to the fact that I think there was a money issue with his family, like because remember she talks to him about his spending, and then they have the brother and the dad are asking about what. That's a weird question. Nobody talks about that. It's a weird question. They said, "What was your background?" So I don't know if they're asking because it's like we're gonna borrow some money from your family, or if they're asking because they're like
they're blue collar and they don't trust rich people.
Exactly.
That's what it is.
That's
what I would guess.
I would guess that one. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And
just like my girlfriend says, she thinks I have an issue with rich people.
Me
told
too.
you that.
I actually legit have. It's something that I've had to work on.
Yes, I do too, and I don't,
Yeah.
and I didn't realize it till recently. I always thought I was joking around, and now I'm like, oh, I have an issue with rich people.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's a whole complicated situation. But so I think they're gonna say yes. So we want to go down the line.
We'll go down the line, and then if you have one, give a hot take.
Me?
Like at the end, like we'll each give a hot take.
Okay.
And then we'll do our quick Die Hard discussion.
Okay, cool.
So yeah, Tiffany and Brett, I think it's a yes from both of them.
If my official pick is it's a yes from both of them.
Okay.
But they're gonna make it seem like some last minute thing happened, and he's downing it because, or she is because she's too overwhelmed or something.
To add a little drama.
Or something happened with her job, or whatever. Something's gonna hit. They're gonna do one little curveball, and then she's gonna say yes because the way it's going is like very, very solid.
Yeah.
But that would be a great editing trick that you're the whole season.
The
you're
whole
like,
time.
It's bulletproof.
Yeah. Zach and Bliss, I think, are a yes.
Oh, I think it's a no. I think she's gonna say no. I think that. I think that it's. I don't. It doesn't. I think he's too odd of a guy. I think he's an odd dude, and she's like, oh, he's my person. He's my person. But they don't. There's not like they're not. They don't seem like they're jiving well. Still,
there's zero sexual chemistry.
Right, and also she's kind of alluded to the fact that she also is not attracted to him physically. Like she.
Oh really? I didn't notice that.
She said when you get a connection to somebody that's strong, you kind of look past stuff like that. She said it like not talking about him directly.
That's tough.
So I think that's nobody wants
so
to seem like vapid. Excuse me. But that is a issue, I think, with him.
Nobody wants to be like that dude Shake, who couldn't wait to tell everybody how he didn't find her attractive.
Exactly, and he was the piece of shit, whatever. But he was such a jerk about so many things that he fit into the villain role. This guy seems like a nice enough guy. He's being careful. I mean, she seems really sweet as well. She is nerdy, but she's really cute girl.
Yeah.
Obviously, this guy must. That's not even just looks. I think he must give off like a rapey vibe.
Weirdo.
I think he must. He might be a creepy-ish type. Some people just give off that.
And I don't like how he rubbed the goat cheese on those carrots with his bare hands. That was pretty disgusting.
I don't even remember that.
Yeah, he was making her dinner, and he fucked up the steaks, and then he was literally like mashing the cheese with his fingers. It was really disgusting.
In that scene where they had the steaks are ruined, do you know what he was talking? Like, why were the steaks ruined?
Because there was holes in the marinade. Doesn't even make sense.
Why
Fucking
can't you
still
just
fire the steaks up?
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
He's like, the steaks are ruined. We'll just have mushrooms, and I'm like, why can't you just chuck the steaks in the oven or on the grill or whatever the hell?
It's wasting food.
Yes, it is. And
which is a reason I don't like him.
Yeah. But I do think that she's going to be a no on that.
But you think he's a yes?
Yeah, I think he's probably a yes. Because I think Natalie's. I think she's probably right. I think he's just like dying to be with somebody. I feel bad for the guy in a way because it's like I think he means well, but he comes off creepy. Even they had a conversation between him and Paul. And I think the purpose of this conversation was to show that he's a weird dude. He just kept saying the same thing over and over again. He's like, well, you just need to treat her right because if you want to treat her right and she's special to you. And he just said it like 3 different ways in a row. And I'm like, oh, you're just going through the motions. You're just they're just not.
It's like he's AI.
It's like he's AI. Yeah, he's iRobot. He's fucking. He's the singularity. He's the mesh between humans and technology. Okay, so next one is Micah and Paul.
I think they're a yes.
If I think that he's pretty for real. He doesn't seem like a guy who's chasing down reality show stuff. I think it's probably just fun for them. I think she is trying to face down fame stuff. So if she says yes, I would say it's for that reason, because then it prolongs them in the public eye. And he might just say yes because he's like, and maybe he's believing that he's that into her, and they're young too. On top of it, he's young. That's the thing, man. I'm 44. Like the other part of this equation is that they're kind of young and dumb, some of these people.
Yeah,
they're
that's what I'm
thinking
saying.
like, oh, I do believe this is what it is. And then all of it. If you take Love It, in 20 years, all those Love Is Blind relationships are done. I'll be shocked if any of those marriages from, say 5 more seasons of the show before they end it.
Well, the one from season 1, they're still together.
Really? But that's 3 years.
Yeah.
Which one is that? Because I didn't see that
That was
season.
like Cameron and Lauren.
That's good. And that
Yeah.
might do it. But I'm talking like long, long marriage. Anyway, so
you're saying,
I think they're probably yes. I think I switched.
Oh,
I think they're
nice.
probably yes.
and then lastly, Kwame and Chelsea.
No.
So we know Chelsea said yes already, and then they gave us the cliffhanger.
Right.
And you think he's a no?
No. Shoot. What do you think?
Man, I want to give a hot take and say that he says yes, but I think he's gonna say no.
I think he's going to say no, and I think he's going to say no and then blame it on the
mom thing.
The mom thing. But I think based off of what we've seen and what we talked about on this episode of the podcast, I think this is a guy who
He'll be on something else.
He'll be on something else soon. He'll be on because he's hedging his bets and he'll be on the other one you talked about, the
perfect match.
Yeah, whatever it is, because he's in the world already. He got the profile for it. He was already part of that bus. That's another thing. They had that Love Is Blind bus.
He was already on it.
He was on it.
Okay, so that's a no.
I think that's a no. I think that signifies a no.
Now here's my hot take, and it's going against my official pick, but it may just be kind of what I want to see. I think that if Bliss does say no to that dude, she pulls a Zeneb from that one season and just completely roasts Zach for making her the second pick.
The Zeneb one.
Remember how in the last season of Love Is Blind when she kind of killed that cool dude, which in hindsight, kind of for no reason, he was actually not that bad of a guy.
Then they showed that Clementine
That's
thing
what I'm
from
saying.
the last season, and then everybody was on his side with it. They were like, that's not.
Yeah.
I don't think she has it in her to do that, to be honest. I think
really?
she's a little bit too timid and a little bit too. I think she's very, very sweet. I
mean, the fact that
I don't
she's
think
even
Zaynab
there.
was sweet. I think Zaynab was kind of, I don't say crazy, but I don't think she was into it either. And I think she was using it as she was doing one of these things where she was making it is him, and she didn't want it either.
Well, and she had a lot of insecurities that was making her perceive things.
She did. I think she went through a lot. I think, and then it sucks, whatever. But I think they were very different people, and I think that she's going to bring up the second choice thing if she says no. Of course, in the reunion she'll bring it up, but I don't think she'll be as that was
cutting.
That was like.
Well, I don't think she's gonna go full nuclear on him, but I think she's gonna. I think if she says no, it's gonna be a thing where she goes, no, I just can't get past the fact that I was second choice to you, and that you can easily flip flop and have those feelings for two people. You're not a bad person, but we're done. And it's weird that you stare that way. And I think that if we did stay together long enough, you would cut off my skin while I was sleeping and wear it around the house.
Is that what the other one said?
Tuck your wiener back like Buffalo Bill.
It puts the lotion on its skin, or else it goes on Love Is Blind again.
Are you doing the fat guy on Love Is Blind, or are you doing impression from Silence of the Lambs? What's going on here?
So that's a hot take. I don't have any really crazy hot takes.
Fine.
Let me think. I just think that
part of me feels like Kwame's going to say yes.
Has anybody, even our hot take on it not being the Love Is Blind brand, is anybody talking about that? I think they're just talking about it in regular. Like we have a respect for this show that I think people don't have.
We have too much of a respect for the show. I think we take it as gospel because they've done a couple things to get in our good graces and turn two fucking grown adult men who love this show.
I'm a middle-aged man.
Yeah.
What am I doing with my life?
you're too old to be on the show.
Yeah, I am, right?
Yeah, probably.
I figured. I didn't even think that there probably is a cap, right?
That's bullshit, though. See, that's another problem I have.
Isn't
Bone
that
number 5.
Wait a minute. Maybe we can go after for
Ageism.
ageism. Fatism and ageism.
If by next season
There's not a fat
there is
old
not
guy.
a fat guy in his mid-60s on the show, I'm out. Nick Lachey, balls in your court.
It's got to be like, hey, are you between the ages of 20? I would guess they probably do it up a little bit. Probably like 24 and 35 or something. It's got to be a very tight window because they're all.
Why isn't there a midget in the show?
Why isn't there a midget?
Or a little person, I'm sorry.
Then you're getting a whole. There's a lot of things that are. Why isn't there a trans person on the show?
Yeah.
Why? That's the thing.
Well, you can't do it. You have to do a gender so they can be separated. That I understand because that's part of the experiment.
What do you mean?
You can only do it with a male and female gender because if you had a trans person.
A trans person that identifies as.
Yes, sorry. That was my bad.
I'm sorry. Are you saying that
No.
trans people?
No.
I'm sorry. Wait, can we have an official statement from you regarding trans people on the show?
You know what I
Hold
was
on.
thinking?
Let's backtrack for a second. Remember before where you said they don't count
I
it?
edit these episodes, Sean.
You said on the podcast trans people don't count. Is that what you said?
No, it's not what I said. What I was getting at.
They don't count as people.
My thought, yes. My thought is you can't do. This was my thought, not trans. I misspoke. Yes, you can put a transgender. Hell, I want a guy with Down syndrome in there. I think that would really spice it up. It would be hilarious. And but we're gonna have to cut this.
No, we don't.
But no, I was gay. You couldn't have gay.
Well, no, that's different.
That's different
because
you can't have gay. That's what I was thinking of.
You could have a gay version of.
You could have trans people in there. It would work.
They might end up having a gay version of Love Is Blind.
Yeah, you can't do it. You can't do it.
Why can't you?
Because they have to be
gay
separated.
Dude version.
So then there would just be half the dudes here and half the. What are you separating them by tops and bottoms? Separating them by bears and twinks? No, you can't do it. The show doesn't work.
But it does. How does it not work?
How does it not work?
They're not
because
seeing each other still.
Yes, but they got to go back and be like how do you split them up? Or are they all just alone?
They just live in their own.
They live in like
single
prison.
pod.
Yeah, they live in a single prison, solitude. You can't have an all dude Love Is Blind, which I know you would love, but they can't have an all guy Love Is Blind.
Yes, you can.
How?
The only problem you have is the only problem you have is I see what you're saying because they're in the house with each other, so dudes could just fall in love in the house with each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what you meant, but that's not what you said.
It is what. No, it's also that's part of it. The dudes could fall in love in there, but then it's also like, how do you split them up? Like you can't like how are you just saying like group A and group B? What do you want
No, you meaning that like they're seeing the other guy, so chances are that the attraction,
it has to be opposite sex.
Yeah.
So that they're having a.
But you could have it in a different way. So you could have it where.
Well, that's just changing the whole show. Because part of the drama is
that being in the house and different people going into because you can still have that part of the drama unless it's like yeah you're right because it's like hey there's a guy right here that I can see
that's what I'm saying
that I'm talking with as much as I'm talking to them
and then a dude would have this great conversation with another dude come back to his spot all horned up and just hammer out some other dude hanging out in the kitchen. You know what I'm saying? Like you know what I mean? It's like he has this thoughtful sexual chemistry with somebody that he can't see, and then he's like, "Oh, I'm all fucking raged up." He's fucking rock hard.
They have a clause. Everybody must jerk off 3 times a day when you're in there.
Oh, that's another question I had about Love Is Blind.
We call it Love Is Kinda Blind. Love is half blind. Love is legally blind.
Do you think anybody's ever cranked one off in the pods? I bet they wouldn't be allowed. Like if they did mutual masturbation, like
they know they're being filmed, so I highly doubt it. And I don't think they
throw a cover over your lap. They got those nice blankets.
You mean while they're talking?
While they're talking, and she's like, "Wow, like you sound really hard. Do you want to jerk off to me?"
I think the old Love Is Blind we know would like allude that they did that. Because here's the thing,
sick.
like that's quasi, not assault, but it's like in.
No. I'm not saying he's doing it without her knowing.
Oh, but
I'm saying they're getting sexy. They're having that conversation. It's almost like phone sex.
Yeah, but if they see any kind of motion, the camera's going to see it, and they're filming them. They probably brief
They
them on
film
it.
them having sex in Mexico and stuff.
Kinda, but they don't.
Kind of. So that's what they would do with the jerking off.
Yeah, but nobody probably does it because they
You're
probably
no
don't want
fun,
to be.
dude. You're no fun, dude. You only like when we talk about the sexual stuff when it's just the all dudes version of Love Is Blind that you're trying to make.
You go back. I'm gonna go back to the house and go hammered out by my housemate.
I love that you're trying to create an all dude version of Love Is Blind. That is so funny.
What if you did? You could do it where it was like if you had lesbians and you could have.
Doesn't work.
You do it with like roommates, little apartments with roommates, and the dudes live with a lesbian. It's a dude and a lesbian, straight dude lesbian, straight dude lesbian, straight dude lesbian, in the thing, and they go into the pods and see the other team of. They talk to who they're attracted to in the pods. You could, they wouldn't do it.
It's
it makes
confusing.
It could kind of be it kind of could be cool. Like, it would just take way more apartments and way more time, probably way more money. But
it kind of ruins the dynamic.
Like the roommate,
like me and you say we were talking to the same chick.
Yeah.
And we would go
which,
back.
Which fat guy does she want?
Hey, which one's gonna disappoint her when those little doors open? Everybody's wearing a suit. Me, you're just in sweatpants.
God, I would love to be on that show, and then I come out of this thing and I'm bald. Like, there's no bald guys. There's no bald guys on the show. Like,
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
There's no like fucking. There's no regular.
You're missing
guys.
a lot of topics.
Yeah,
but. There's a lot of things people aren't going to complain about because if you saw a bunch of, to be honest, I would actually love the version of it where it was all regular
dudes.
people. Oh. All right, let's get to your stupid Die Hard thing.
I don't even want to talk about it.
We got to wrap up anyway.
We've had so much fun. This was fun.
We'll talk about it next time.
Yeah, it's just anybody that was thinking it's just a stupid take about Die Hard. It's not really even a big deal.
No, it's a good take. I'm just messing with
it. No, I'm being serious. I don't feel like talking about it because of how hard I just laughed about the all dude version
Love Is
of
Blind.
Love Is Blind. Well, but what I'm saying is
Love Is Blind. Love became blind because the amount of jerk-offs that happen in the house. They jerked you. Like you jerk off too much, you become blind. They jerked too much. The house just how much. Also, just for the sheer amount of semen in those quarters.
That's how gross dudes are.
Yeah.
That's what's so funny is it would be like the one dude on the other side of the pod where he'd be like, yeah, he's like, I got to choose between Ron and Liam. I don't know which one I'm going to choose. I'm going in there to meet him now. And Ron and Liam don't even show up because they're just fucking cranking it out somewhere. They're just fucking, they're just soaking in each other in some fucking random corner of the apartment.
It becomes Jeffrey Epstein's Island. Jesus Christ. I will say this. Do you think that what about the guys or even the girls in the regular version because they go into their rooms and are they bunking up or they all have their own room? I think they bunk up, right?
I kind
they
of
don't
like
show
they all
that
sleep
part
in
of
that
it.
living room.
They don't all sleep in that living room. What is it? It's like 2 weeks of the I wonder if they bunk up or if they can like I'm sure somebody's tried to jerk off like where the cameras aren't.
Oh, if I'm in somewhere for 2 weeks, there's no chance I'm not jerking off. I'll quit the show.
Yeah, there's no way they're not, right?
I'll quit the show. I'll quit Love Is Blind on the spot. They don't let me fucking
You're there for a day and
crank one off.
that's why they don't have fat guys on the show. They're like, look, we have one for a day and he's jerking off immediately.
I ruin it for the rest of
you're
full-figured males.
You're jerking off during that speech that Nick gives. He's like, welcome. You're like,
it's like Love Is Blind season 9. A guy gets turned down. And he's like, why? They're like, you're too overweight. You don't let overweight. Well, the one guy. Did you ever hear the Zawodni story? Yeah, the guy started jerking off
immediately
before Nick Lachey even finished Welcome to Love Is Blind.
Yeah, welcome to Love. Jesus. Fucking great. Guys,
All right. Well, we'll have to.
what a really fun episode.
I know. We'll have to
See where our picks go.
recap our picks next week.
Wait, but here's the thing. I know it says is the reunion before the rest of the episodes?
No, they're doing one more episode that's coming out on Friday, and that's where we're gonna get to see all the weddings. And then on the 16th, Sunday, live reunion show.
Yeah. Should we live podcast? Live? Do it live here with the record
do
it
it
while we're
live.
watching it? We'll do it live. Fuck it.
Yeah, maybe.
You want to do that? Or would
let's
that be
think
too
about it.
annoying? Like we
Might
want
be
to
too
watch
annoying.
it. Or we can watch it and then pod right after it so we have a fresh.
Or we could just do a specific recap show.
Yeah,
Give them
all right, we'll take notes or
and give the
something.
people 2 episodes next week.
Guys, thank you so much for listening
Thank
to
you
the
very
Brand New
much.
Jerks. We love you.
You can find us everywhere. Full episodes on YouTube.com. You could see our clips on social media. Those are dropped on YouTube, several each week.
Just search Brand New Jerks to find the clips.
And you could catch them on our individual Instagrams. I'm at Raby Killing Him. He is
At Shawnee Time.
TikTok. It's at Brand New Jerks Pod. If there's anything you want to hear us talk about, or you have any hot fucking Love is Blind takes, DM us, comment on the YouTube video, send
Stop us on
an
the
email.
street.
Stop us on the street.
Oh, also, I will be not this coming weekend, but the 20th, I'll be headlining Hilarities in Cleveland, and the rest of the weekend I'll be opening up for my friend Jim Norton. So if you're in the Cleveland area and you want to come see me do stand-up, please come to Hilarities. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's my first time at that club. I've heard nothing but amazing things. So
Awesome.
if you're a fan,
It's
please
sick.
come say hello and come to a show.
Make sure you eat there.
That's what everybody says.
Food's
I can't
so
wait. I'm going to eat there every night.
If you're listening this morning, right when this comes out, and you're in New York City, come to my show tonight.
Ooh.
7th Street Comedy. It's in the East Village. Is that the East Village? That's
Yeah,
considered?
it is. Yeah.
Come on out. Tickets are just
7th
$10.
Street and 1st Avenue.
Yeah, 7th
Right
Street.
next door to 7th Street Burger. So get yourself a burger. Delicious 7th Street Burger, and go to Ray and Colin's show right next. When is it? Thursday? This Thursday. Well, today.
Today?
At
Yeah.
what time?
8 p.m.
And they can go online. What's the, the site?
You can get it
7th
on
Street?
Eventbrite,
Yeah.
or you can look at my social media. It's all over there. To click on links, grab tickets, or come by them at the door.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much, and we'll see you
Love
next
you.
week. Right? Bye.
Sean.
Oh, there we go.
Awkward
Awkward
handshake. Just the
handshake,
2 of
awkward
us.
handshake.
We can make it if we try.
Bye-bye.
And watch Love is Blind tomorrow.